Before Justin Gimelstob became a would-be tennis kingpin, his singles career peaked at world number 63. He beat legend Andre Agassi once and also defeated Grand Slam winners Pat Rafter, Gustavo Kuerten and Petr Korda. His highlights are winning a pair of mixed doubles slams with Venus Williams, plus 13 ATP doubles titles, and he banked more than $2.5 million in prize money. Gimelstob, 42, once described himself as a serviceable pro. He has proven a multitasking powerhouse off the court, a commentator with the Tennis Channel, coach of top 10 American star John Isner, manager to former champion Lindsay Davenport and also an ATP Tour official. Right now, Gimelstob is the man who wants to take over men's tennis. He is a decade-long player representative on the ATP board, who was part of a vote this month to put President and Executive Chairman Chris Kermode out of a job, amid reports that he would like the role for himself. That's problematic for tennis. Deeply problematic. Gimelstob has a checkered history, starting from his rise to the ATP board in 2008. Justin Gimelstob and Venus Williams after winning the 1998 Australian Open mixed doubles. Getty, just as he was elected, he gave a shocking radio interview to Washington program The Junkies that has haunted him ever since, even as fresh controversies piled up. Gimelstob, then 31, had an exhibition doubles match coming up against women's tennis phenomenon Anna Kournikova, who he trained with as a junior. She's gonna be serving 40 miles an hour and I'm gonna be just plugging it down her throat. I'm going to serve it right at the body, about 128 mph, 206 kilometers per hour, right into her midriff. If she's not crying by the time she comes off court, then I did not do my job, he said. It got worse when Gimelstob was asked if he hated the Russian star. She bitch. Hate's a very strong word. I just despise her to the maximum level, just below hate. Justin Gimelstob watches Anna Kournikova during a 2008 exhibition in Washington. AP asked if he would have an affair with the famously beautiful Kournikova. He said, "Definitely not. I have no attraction to her. She has a great body but her face is a 5. I really have no interest in her. I wouldn't mind having my younger brother, who's a kind of a stud, nail her and then reap the benefits of that." Gimelstob wasn't done. He also called French players Tatiana Golovin and Elise Cornet sex bots, and branded Czech player Nicole Vidasova a well-developed young lady. Anna Kournikova and Nicole Vidasova. Getty, and he had disparaging comments about female tennis players in general. Female tennis players lack the social skills, they don't go to high school, they don't go to parties, he said, also noting that there were fewer lesbians in tennis at that stage. That's because they're all Russian chicks. And there are some other cute ones out there. There's some talent out there. The ATP condemned Gimelstob's statements, but took no further action after he issued a groveling apology that admitted his comments displayed a general disregard and disrespect toward women. Kournikova said that she had no clue what prompted Gimelstob's attack and otherwise declined to comment, saying only, "I'm going to take the high road." Vidasova said, "I know his sense of humor a little bit. I know he kind of talks like that a little bit. So I can cut him some slack." Anna Kournikova in a Wimbledon exhibition match in 2010. Getty, speaking to ESPN in 2008, Gimelstob described the fateful interview as a wrong move and unacceptable, but he was also taken aback by the heated response to his comments. "It was a painful period, but also a time when I learned a lot about people," he said. "I'm not asking to get a pass, but I'm disappointed I got so little respect and took in these levels of venom. I took a deep, hard look at myself and asked if those comments I made completely revealed what kind of person I am. I don't think so. I'm glad this happened early in my career. I can guarantee it won't happen again." Justin Gimelstob playing Leighton Hewitt at Wimbledon in 2005. PAAAP. That same year, Gimelstob gave an interview to Out magazine, explaining that men's tennis was not exactly inclusive. The locker room couldn't be a more homophobic place, Gimelstob said. We're not gay bashing. There's just a lot of positive normal hetero talk about pretty girls and working out and drinking beer. That's why people want to be pro athletes. Gimelstob also made waves in the commentary box. While rated a superb commentator, he was briefly dropped by Tennis Channel for March 2010 remarks that were deemed a political slight against then U.S. President Barack Obama. Gimelstob was reportedly seen by players as a blunt-talking man prepared to voice their prevailing opinions. Having been let off by the ATP, Gimelstob quickly made his presence felt on the board. He is very loud and energetic, and maybe you like it or don't, said Ivan Lubachuk, a former world number 3 who served alongside him. The board meetings were never very quiet when he was around. And he is a hard worker. A New York Times profile on Gimelstob, based on the 2016 Australian Open, captured a man who greeted sunrise by addressing 300 unread messages on a smartphone while riding an exercise bike for an hour, a self-described OCD, who is branded a Kuerten. I love what I do, all of it, Gimelstob told The Times. I'm up at 4 a.m. on my computer itching to get the day started. Gimelstob, a tall man standing 196 centimeters, retired from playing tennis in 2007. He was so good at networking, even then, that his exit was marked with an appearance on U.S. institution The Late Show with David Letterman, despite his modest achievements. He was a force to be reckoned with, as tennis officialdom was about to discover. But nasty comments about female players a decade ago are one thing. What followed the 2008 outburst, allegedly, was even darker. Justin Gimelstob during a 2005 match against Leighton Hewitt. AP, Gimelstob is currently on $50,000 bail after being charged with the alleged violent assault of a former friend on October 31 last year, felony battery, a charge which carries up to 4 years in jail and a $10,000 fine. He has pleaded not guilty and will face a preliminary hearing in Los Angeles on April 8, where witness statements and a video of the alleged attack will be presented. It is alleged that Gimelstob, dressed in a Top Gun costume for Halloween, tackled venture capitalist Randall Kaplan from behind in the street, then hit him about 50 times on the head and face. Kaplan, a friend to Gimelstob's estranged wife, Carrie, alleges that Gimelstob screamed, "I'm going to kill you." Kaplan claims he was walking with his wife and 2-year-old daughter, who he was pushing in a stroller, at the time of the alleged attack. He claims to have ongoing injuries. Gimelstob told TMZ in February, "I'm not the person that's been depicted here," denying that he was violent. Justin Gimelstob with estranged wife Carrie in 2013. Getty. The impending trial has shown a light on Gimelstob's other alleged infractions, including those claimed by his estranged wife in a 2016 application for a restraining order. Justin and Carrie Gimelstob, née Sinnott, both from well-off families, married in 2012 but had a short-lived union. A report from The Telegraph revealed that Carrie Gimelstob alleged multiple instances of domestic violence against her husband in the 2016 restraining order application. The instances included Gimelstob allegedly tackling Carrie to the floor and pinning her down. In February 2015, Gimelstob allegedly assaulting Carrie twice in front of their young son and claiming to have secretly filmed her having sex with another man. In December 2015, and Gimelstob allegedly knocking over Carrie with a car, also in December 2015. Carrie Gimelstob said in her application, "Justin also broke into the house I was living in and threatened to continue breaking into the house I was living in the future." Her application was ultimately withdrawn. Gimelstob filed his own application at the time, per The Telegraph, that denied any acts of violence and claimed, "For the last 7 months I have been living in fear of Carrie and her powerful, influential and wealthy family." Justin Gimelstob at the 2015 U.S. Open. Getty. These claims from Gimelstob's past are set to be aired during his April hearing, along with 2 other alleged incidents. One involved another friend of Kerry Gimelstob, Chris Thabit, alleging that Justin Gimelstob had chased and assaulted him outside a Santa Monica restaurant in November 2016. Thabit filed for a temporary restraining order that detailed 2 alleged incidents. First, Thabit alleged that in March 2016, Gimelstob was kicked out of the restaurant after yelling at me in a hostile, threatening manner, accusing me of having flirted with his wife Kerry. 8 months later, Thabit alleged that he saw Gimelstob at the same restaurant and tried to avoid the tennis identity by leaving the premises, only for Gimelstob to knock his phone from his pocket, then jump on his back and hit him. Gimelstob again filed a counter-restraining order, claiming Thabit had pushed him aggressively, and both men withdrew their applications. Justin Gimelstob at Wimbledon 2018. Getty, perhaps the most bizarre allegation refers to an October 2017 table tennis tournament in Venice Beach, after Gimelstob made an out call during a match against Gabriel Joseph and his partner. "I asked my partner if the ball was in," Joseph told The Telegraph. Justin overheard. "He comes to the net and asks me, 'Oh, did you think that was in?' I said, 'To be honest, I think it was in.' He said, 'Oh well, if you think I need to cheat to beat you, you're stupid.' As I walked back, he said, 'If you start something I am going to effing finish you with my left arm, I will hit you.' And at the next changeover, I was wiping my face on a towel when he called me a faggot and said, 'That towel suits your feminine quality.'" They were still winning easily. They were up 5-2, 40-0, and Justin double faults. I say, "Nice serve," so he walks around the net, he shoves me, then he tries to grab my partner by the throat. Other witnesses also allege that Gimelstob used the homophobic slur, faggot, and had to be restrained after a melee broke out. Gimelstob's lawyer, Sean Hawley, told The Telegraph that he had strong evidence to refute each of the claims. Justin Gimelstob cheers for John Isner at Wimbledon 2018. Getty, Gimelstob is the son of an insurance magnate, with an estimated net worth of $5.4 million, $7.6 million. His $50,000 bail is a pittance, but the threat of a conviction puts his tennis empire building at risk. Australian legend Leighton Hewitt called for Gimelstob to be removed from the ATP board upon news of his battery charge, posting on Twitter, "The ATP World Tour must lead by example and do something about this." The ATP board determined not to, meaning Gimelstob was free to vote for the removal of Kermode this month, which Hewitt branded a disappointing decision. Gimelstob's survival on the board came down to something of a technicality. The ATP constitution states that a board vote must be unanimous in order to remove a member, and Gimelstob was saved by a single vote, from David Egdes, a fellow player representative and a Tennis Channel executive. Thus, while Gimelstob has taken leave from his Tennis Channel commentary role, he is still making decisions of consequence for the game itself. Gimelstob's myriad of jobs are a source of unease for many on the ATP Tour, due to potential conflicts of interest. For example, he made a spectacle of himself at Wimbledon last year by roaring support for Isner, his player, in a match against Kevin Anderson. An ATP board member appearing to side with one player against another is problematic in itself, but Isner and Anderson are also ATP Player Council representatives. For all Gimelstob's support among players, he also has many opponents as a potential ATP president. Legends Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal are among those who were upset that Kermode was removed, and that they were given little say on the matter by Player Council President Novak Djokovic. Federer said that he was determined to understand where tennis was headed after Kermode's removal, what the future held for the sport. It may be a court that decides whether or not the future of tennis is Gimelstob.